my mic is on.
Your mic is on. Her mic is on.
My mic is on, guys. Hi, guys.
Hey, so... Hi, Tasha.
Hi.
Did you say you're nervous?
Yeah.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know, like, spotlight and everything.
Spotlight is true.
I'm not used to it. Like, I'm not used to it.
She's not used to it. And we do have the spotlight on her. We do. But... lol. But I did make the people a promise. I told them that I am going to make a part 2 and I'm going to have a friend with me. Here is the friend. Yeah.
Guys,
Here is
I'm
the
a friend.
Yeah.
So how are you?
How am I?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself a little bit.
Oh, okay. So, hi, guys. I am Betty's friend, Tasha. I am 30 years old, married with 5 children. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Wow, I didn't realize I was friends with a compulsive liar. This is interesting. You learn new things every single day.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're discussing friendships, isn't it?
Maybe I'm a liar. No,
yeah.
I'm Tasha. I am 23 my age.
You don't. You can only share it if you want to.
Okay. I'm 23. I'm 23 years young.
Okay.
And yeah, I've known Mercy for like maybe 5 years now.
5 years.
I think.
Dang. 5 years.
Yeah, 4 years. 4 to
4
5
years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
It's been a while, right?
It's been a while. We met in uni, so yeah.
We've had some hurdles.
We have. We really have. Like, at first, I didn't actually think that we were going to stay friends. And yeah, here we are now. Like,
here we
friends.
actually are.
We're actually like proper friends. As in like the true definition of friendship. Me and her. Period.
And what is the true definition of friendship? Thank you for easing us into that.
Okay, so I feel like it's subjective. Let me start again.
Yeah.
I feel like it's subjective to every like person.
Yeah.
I would say for me, friendship is the same as like companionship. That's what I would say. Like, it's a partner for life, not necessarily romantic, obviously, but it's someone that's like that lives life with you, someone that you do life with.
Wow.
That's what I would say a friend is to me.
That's good.
What about for yourself?
What I would define a true friendship as, oh my gosh, I literally went through an entire journey into understanding what it means to be a true friend or what it means to be a good friend. And what would I define a friend as? A friend is somebody that, you know, I'm willing to sacrifice for.
Yeah.
It's what you've described, you know, like companionship and journeying through life with, because I feel like there's such a big emphasis and such a big like look on romantic relationships, but people don't look enough at platonic friendships.
That's it.
You know, platonic relationships at least, and how important they are in our lives. You know, because even when you look at our friendships, there's so much that I've learned from you.
Vice versa.
Honestly. And hasn't always been easy. And I think when people look at how uneasy a friendship is, they think that they need to get rid of that friendship. You know, but it just makes me think about what love is and the fact that it is sacrifice.
Yeah.
The fact that it is a journey. You choose to love someone, you know, and, you know, I make the decision to love you.
Yeah.
It is not a feeling, you know, you make me happy. Yeah. You know, yeah, that's the feeling. Get out of here. Wait, that's my bit. You stole my bit.
That's what I do.
She's also a thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like it's a decision.
Yeah.
Because there's times where we've had really hard conversations.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I was gonna ask, like, do you want to go into it? Like,
we can go as much as we feel comfortable going.
Because you mentioned that, you know, you said specifically that we've had some hurdles.
Yeah.
So I wanted to explore that. Like, what do you mean by that? And if you're comfortable, obviously, to share.
Yeah. You know, when I think about the hurdles that we went through, it's like, I feel like in most friendships, people do get to a certain stage where it does become a bit hard. But what I think is this recording?
Wait.
Can you actually take a look to make sure?
I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. You scared me.
Imagine. But yeah, so what I think when it comes to friendships and like
Sorry.
I just crazy. That was actually imagine.
No, imagine like
but no, like there is a certain like point that friendships do get where it's like you do have to make this decision. Am I gonna jump over this hurdle with you, or are we gonna remain where we are?
Okay.
And I think we got to that hurdle and we decided to jump over it.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes friendship can remain at the same level.
Stagnant. Yeah.
Stagnant.
That is so true.
Surface level.
True. Yeah.
And it's like, but jumping over that hurdle actually isn't easy. It's like, the conversation that we've had, the one that always comes to my mind the most is the one about, what are you jealous of the other?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That one was crazy.
That one is crazy.
That one was mad.
It was hard,
Yeah.
And there's been another we even had one earlier on this week,
Oh yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
Where, she had to tell me about something that I did wrong. And it's like, I think about that and how much like, grace has to be exercised, like within friendship. It's like in that moment, you're telling me something and I could choose to be like, how dare she?
Yeah.
Like, how dare she come and
like,
tell me something, But then on the opposite end, it's like you're choosing to be vulnerable with me,
Yeah.
Whereas you could say, well, no, I'm not going to share this with her. I'm not going to tell her this. I'm going to keep it to myself. And, like eventually distance myself from her. But then it's like, it's actually love when you came to me and you told me that. And afterwards, like I really did reflect and I was like, wow, like, because it's not easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
I've had to do it as well where I've had to tell you something where I could just say to myself, like, no, I'm not going to tell her. I'm going to keep it to myself. But that's really like me pulling outside of myself. Like, I'm going to expose myself to you. And I'm going to trust that she's going to treat it well. She's going to see it as it is.
Yeah.
That vulnerability. And like...
and I feel like that's not easy to do with just anyone.
Oh gosh, it's not.
Which is why it's so important to like ask yourself, like the people that you have in your life, like, are you willing to share, your vulnerable moments with them?
Oh my gosh.
Like, are you even comfortable to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's mad. And we were even talking about like, like trauma. I don't know if you want to go there now.
I mean, let's go there. Like, if we don't go there,
because I understand that, like, we grew up right in maybe like a traumatic environment, or we've had traumatic experiences, and that's now made us to be like to have trust issues or to feel like you can't trust anyone, which is why it might be hard to actually open up or be vulnerable with people, or even befriend other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, obviously there needs to be healing done before you're actually like able to open up. But even the people that you have in your life at the moment, like, I want you to like ask yourself, is this someone that I could call a friend? Is this someone that like I can trust, that will, like support me and love me properly? Just like you mentioned earlier, like it's a choice. And sometimes it's not easy, but it's about like choosing the right people to love, because I feel like friendships are really important. Like in life, I don't think you're supposed to not be like have friends in life. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would agree with you. But I just want to like touch on something you said earlier about healing as well.
Okay.
And I think that there's also a process of healing that you can have while journeying with someone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they could really like help you to, because it's all about perspective though, isn't it? Sometimes like when you expose yourself to a new perspective, it helps you to be able to see things in a way that you didn't before. And that could actually bring about like a certain level of healing. Like, and I would say like in our friendship, what you helped me to realize that, that I can care.
Right. Okay.
You did. Like, you helped me to realize that I have the ability to care.
Okay.
That I can actually do that in a friendship. Like, I don't have to withhold that. I don't have to hold that thing back.
Wow.
And yeah. And I also want to answer your question as well.
Yeah.
So what was it?
I think the question was, because I spoke about trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, do you feel like people can journey through life without having friendships?
Oh my gosh. No.
Yeah.
No. And the reason why I'm so like, no, is because even within the Bible, like we look at Jesus, fully God, fully human, but yet he journeyed with people. He had his disciples. Do you know what I mean? And I think if even somebody like Jesus understood the importance of having people around you, having community, it's like, why do we feel as if we can do it alone? Like, look at God when he created us. It's like we were created in his image, and God is like, he's one, but he even has like 3 different functions within himself.
Right.
And when he made us, he looked within himself. So he's a relational God. Like, he wants to have a relationship with us. So it's like, when you look at that whole aspect of God, it's like we were not created to do things alone.
That's it.
You know, we just weren't. It's not something that we should do. I can understand that some people have certain personality types where they are just people that prefer to be like not alone, but like, you know, I like my space.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. If you like your space, you like your space. But to completely say to yourself that you don't like people around you, you have to think about why.
Why is that? Yeah.
Why is that? Are you speaking from a place of hurt? Have you been hurt before?
Yeah.
Trauma? Have you experienced pain before? Because I think like we don't ask ourselves enough questions.
That's it.
And because we're scared of the answers. Who wants to think that they're somebody that carries trauma?
Yeah.
Who wants to think of themselves as a victim?
Or someone that's broken.
Or somebody that's broken.
So true.
So it's like, when you think of yourself like that, when you think of the trauma and all those things that you've experienced, it's like, when you think about, you know, friendships and people, it's like, nah, like, I don't want to get into all of that. I don't want to journey with somebody. I don't want to expose myself to someone else.
Yeah.
You know, but I also think it's not by force.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I also think it's not by force in the sense of like, you can't necessarily force somebody else to be your friend in that sense. Like, you know, because let's say like, you know, when we have our hard conversations, it's like, it takes a level of vulnerability from you to come to me to say, you know, this is the issue that I have, or vice versa. But it also takes grace from the other person to like, I'm going to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
I'm also going to take it in, reflect. And does everybody like, because it's an exchange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't force somebody to do that.
Yeah, you can't. I think it's definitely something that needs to be mutual. But I feel like, because even when you mentioned the Bible, I remembered about the verse in, I think it's Ecclesiastes, where it says, 2 are better than 1. So I feel like, to answer my own question, I do believe that like everyone should have at least one genuine friend in their lives, because like, you're not actually meant to do this life by yourself. Like, some people were actually called to be, for example, single, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be by themselves, you know, like in life. They're still going to have that life partner, even if it's not a romantic one. I feel like God really stresses that, the importance of friendship. And like you said, Jesus had friends as well. And like God, you know, God has the Holy Spirit. Like, God is the Holy Spirit, but it's like 3 in 1. So Jesus, like the Son, God the Father, and the Spirit. So it's like, you can see there's that companionship there, even with God. So who are we to be like, oh no, like, forget that, I'm going to live life by myself, like, bun that person. Like, no. I think if you're someone that feels that way, like you said, you need to actually heal, and you need to look at the root of the issue, and like really ask yourself, why do I feel this way? And like, heal.
Exactly.
Heal, bro.
And I think
heal this.
heal. Hashtag heal from Tasha.
Yeah.
Quoted. But what I think is also really important to touch upon is like, you know, I've said grace, but like, it's big. Grace is a really, really big thing that you have to have because you're not dealing with perfect people. You're not dealing with perfect people.
That's so true.
What was I like at the beginning of our friendship? What were you like at the beginning of our friendship? You know, it's like, we weren't perfect people.
I don't think we are right now.
We're not right now either.
And we will never be.
And we will never be.
That's the truth.
And we will never be. But that's why there's grace.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's why there's grace. And it's like, some people, it's so difficult to give that out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, why do you deserve me to just simply not cut you out of my life? You know? And also look at your life as well. Like, look at the people that are around you. Sometimes there are like people that are trying. Sometimes there are people that, you know, it's like you want sort of like a perfect person to be there to say like, oh wow, like this person has like all the great features that I want. So I'm definitely going to pursue friendship with that person. But it's like, no, like it's not always like that. You journey with people. It's like you even find like we're very different.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what? I was thinking about that earlier today. And I really want to ask you, like, you don't have to answer now, but like, why do you keep saying that? She always mentions that. And I feel like, I understand we are, but it's like, I feel like you see it more than I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like,
I do. I think that we're different. I understood what you have, because we've discussed this before. So I've understood what you mean when you say that we're different, but we're the same. Like we actually have like qualities that are the same, you know? But I think that when people like first look at us, like we're not similar people, like, you know, like, everything manifests itself differently in us. So if it's like, if we're funny in different ways, but I feel like we've begun to sort of like merge humors. Like, I can make my jokes like, and you will get them, like you will understand them. Like, I feel like I've like not trained you, but like I can like, cause I like make like quick jokes. Yeah. So it's like some people catch them. I know, like I can catch you across the room and you just be laughing. That's like, true, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Kindness. We reflect that, like not completely different. I think it is like, you know, like merging the same.
Okay.
But it does show itself like a bit differently just because of our different personality types, you know, like, yeah, like, and even the things that we like our love languages talked about this. Like, you know, like those are different. You're an acts of service person, like you really like that physical touch person, and I'm like not necessarily like those. Those are not my top ones. Like I really love quality time, like, and I know you love it too as well. Yeah, but it's like I really love it. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, like it actually bothers me. Like, do you know what I mean? When I feel like I haven't had quality. Yeah, it's that quality bit, because it's like we can have spent time in a group together and it's all cool and everything. Like we've been in a group, we've even had like a brief conversation, but if it's not quality, it bothers me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I think like our differences are, like, you know, but I appreciate those differences. Yeah. I love those differences. You know, it's not me saying that it's a bad thing that we're different. It's like, I really value our differences, because it's like, wow, like two people that they're not necessarily like, when you first look at them the same, but it's like we work.
Yeah.
We really work.
And we can balance each other out as well.
Balance each other out.
That's really important.
So yeah. So I really value that. And yeah. So one question that I have is, how close do you think is too close within a friendship? Like, do you think that there needs to be like a boundary? Do you think that there needs to be like a certain level that we need to sort of like, you know, like, you know, too close? Like, what do you think about that?
I feel like for me, I told you this before, like I've always had some sort of issue with the word boundaries, especially when it comes to friendships. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's the way I see friendship, like I said earlier. Like I see it as like a partnership, a companionship in life. So I feel like if you have boundaries, that means that there's now a barrier there. So it means that we can't really go all the way, if that makes sense, when it comes to like the vulnerability aspect of it. And even like, you know, because if there's certain boundaries, how comfortable am I going to be to share my vulnerable moments with you? Yeah. How comfortable am I going to be to come to you, you know, with my problems or with my issues or whatever, and like really feel like you're there for me when there's a boundary there. And like, even when you say boundaries, what type of boundaries are we talking about? Do you know what I mean?
That is true. You know, because I feel like realistically, like we all know like limits that you would have like in friendships, like anyway. But then I just feel like that's just us. So like, because other people like maybe like, you know, like excessive calling, maybe that's too much.
Right.
You know, like somebody that maybe doesn't realize that, okay, like you're calling me a little bit too much. What do you think about that? Like, we don't really have that problem in our friendship, I would say, but like, I
feel like with us, maybe we do have boundaries, but like we've never really like purposefully set them. They're just there, but I don't know where they are, to be honest. I really don't know where they are.
We just have do's and don'ts that are just sort of like in the air.
Yeah, up in the air.
Yeah.
But
so that is interesting. I feel like that's more of like a personal type of question or a personal type of like conversation to have like within your own friendship.
Yeah.
And just sort of see what it is that you guys are both comfortable with, because people are genuinely just comfortable with different things or uncomfortable with other things. Yeah, I do understand boundaries, though. I understand the like concept of it and I respect it, but I feel like just don't respect boundaries. Like, imagine. Are you crazy? Like,
no, I think I'm just trying to think like, have I ever set a boundary with a friend, or has anyone else ever set a boundary with me? And I feel like it's what I said earlier, like it's a given. So we don't really talk about it. So I don't really know what it looks like. But yeah, don't know if I really answered your question.
No, it's okay. Because I think it's like one of those questions where it's like, it really is subjective. Like, how close is too close? I mean, how close is too close? Yeah. Like, what is it? That's an issue for you, you know? Because
I think for me, like, I want to be close, you know?
You
like,
do.
I really do. I really like,
she does.
I really love people and connecting and talking to people and really like getting there, like, you know, to the grit, like, what's the saying? Into the grits of it.
To the grips of things.
Grips of things.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we just, you know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I really, really like that. And I feel like for me, that's probably why it's hard to truly understand boundaries in friendships. But I also feel like it's possible to have different types of friendships.
That's interesting.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like I do have surface level friendships, but I also have, you know, genuine, like true friendships as well. And I feel like that's okay. Like, I feel like before I didn't really like that. I always used to be like, no, everyone that I meet, like, we have to be the bestest of friends and whatnot. But now, like, growing up, I'm realizing that it's actually okay to not be as close to everyone, because that's not even practical.
It's not.
Do you know what I mean? It's really not. Yeah. And like, I'm starting to understand and be okay with the fact that, you know, me and this person, like, it's okay for just surface level friendships, you know, that's what it is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're so cute.
You have to just keep that in at this point.
Yeah, because like I feel like I do have surface level friendships, like I said, and I didn't really used to like that, but now like I understand why. That is. Like, maybe I'm supposed to be in their life.
Ooh, I was going to say that.
Or maybe they're supposed to be in my life to teach me something, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Exactly. Because I think we're not trying to, like, put such a strict thing around friendships, but it's one thing we have to understand that, you know, obviously there's different kinds of friendships. There's surface level friendships. There's, like, you know, like, really, like, deep friendships, but we do have to look at the deep meaning of friendship. Do you know what I mean? And I think obviously we use friend because it's just, you know, like a word that we use. It's in our vocabulary to use, even for surface level friendships. It's like, that's what we're going to say. Nobody's really going to say like, oh, it's my like acquaintance. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to say friend because it's like it's not like it's your enemy. It's not like it's somebody that you don't like. You like them. You just don't know them that well. But you use the word friendship to sort of describe it. But I do think that there is an actual meaning to friendship, though. Yeah. You know, I also have like friendships that, you know, like we're not that deep, like we're not that that like, we're not close. And I value those friendships. I value them a lot. Like, there's a reason why I feel like, we are friends. There's a reason why I feel like we're in each other's lives. I don't believe in the whole aspect of like necessarily like, I'm just going to cut you off. Like, maybe it's just because like I've already been through that, like the whole like cutting off business. But, now I just feel as if like, like the friends that I do have like really respect me and like my, I don't want to use the word boundaries, but just in the sense of that, like they really respect that. So there's no need to like do the whole like, I'm gonna cut you off, I'm gonna do this, do you know what I mean?
Okay, so because you mentioned just now that you didn't want to say the word boundaries, but it is kind of a boundary that you have with those types of friendships, no?
I guess.
So maybe you could tell us what boundaries you have with them.
I suppose it's like, I have like non-Christian friends as well.
Yeah.
And I love them so much. I love them so
Shout out to
much.
You,
oh my days, I love them. Honestly, like my heart is filled with just love right now. But there's obviously certain things that I just don't do.
Okay.
And they know that and they really respect that. I don't have to have like, like awkward conversations, or I don't have to like specify and say like, oh no, this and that. Like I really, and I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Like that's so like, thank you. Like honestly, thank you. And I just want to be in their lives. Like I really want to be in their lives. Like even if let's say like it's forever, like genuinely, I want to be in your life forever. But it's like we might not like be as close or speaking every single day, and even like certain like conversations like maybe a bit like like we won't go into certain like types of topics, and that's okay. We won't meet up every single like consistently. That's okay, but I love them.
Exactly.
I love them.
Yeah, I hear that. I feel like I have the same type of friendships as well.
Yeah.
Like even, for example, like when it comes to things like birthdays, for example.
Yeah.
And like, like some people like to go and party and whatnot, but obviously like we're trying to, be holy and sanctified.
We are.
Over here, so we don't really do that. But like my friends respect that, and I really like that, because it's like, why, some people could be like, if you don't go to the same places that I go to, like, what's the point? Why do I need to be your friend, kind of thing?
Exactly. If you're going to chill outside the club,
like,
what's up?
You can't even get in, so get out of my life, kind of thing.
Exactly.
But I appreciate that, even though, I don't do the same things that they do or necessarily like the same things that they like we are still able to be friends, to maintain a friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy about that.
Honestly. And that's actually like so interesting, because what do you think about people that will say that, like you just have to cut people out of your life that they're not Christian, they're not, then they don't know Christ? Like, what do you say to that? What do you think about that?
I don't really agree. Like, I can understand why people would say that, but I personally wouldn't, as long as they don't affect like my personal walk with God. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's why boundaries are needed in those types of friendships. So I feel like as long as they're not really affecting your personal walk with God, why would you cut them off,
Exactly.
Because we're supposed to be a light in the world, salt on the earth. So it's like, if you're not around people that need that light, how else are they going to get that light? How else are they going to witness, a Jesus follower?
Exactly.
So I feel like, Jesus has actually told us to be a light in the world. So that means that, if you have someone that, like a friendship, like a friend that does not believe in God, or like is struggling with their relationship with God, they would actually look up to you because you have that relationship with God.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And that would really be helpful for them. You could even be the one to bring him back or her back into Christianity, into Christ. So I don't really agree. What about you?
That you've literally touched on like everything that I would say. And sometimes it frustrates me so much when you see like Christians, like, like, oh, we need to keep to ourselves.
Yeah.
Or like it's like we only know our own community. But it's like, how are we supposed to go out and be a light? Like,
no, literally.
How are we actually supposed to do that if you only ever speak to people that are Christians? Like some people's only form of Jesus that they'll ever receive is you.
Is yourself.
And if you're going to hide yourself away, do you expect them to open up a Bible? Do you expect them to just randomly walk into a church? Like,
exactly.
People, maybe, can't close off everything, but not many people are doing that. You are someone's like Jesus.
Yeah.
You literally are. I mean, obviously, like that's without trying to go into like, how we're supposed to represent Jesus or anything like that. But it's like, it's so important, I think, to not close ourselves off. But I do understand, like, you have to be careful to not be influenced. I think, like, be influenced, be the influence, but don't be influenced. I think that's really important for us to be able to do in friendships, in interactions that we have, like, outside of, like, people that are Christians. Like, that's really, really important. But yeah, like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think that we should do that. I don't think that that's what Christ would want us to do. We look at the way that Christ lived his life. The Pharisees would ask him, like, why do you sit there with taxpayers? Sinners. Why do you sit there with people that dirty sinner? Sorry,
dirty little sinner.
But like, why do you sit there with these people? And it's like, these are his people. These are the people that he came to to reach.
Literally.
Like, is there like conditions to receiving the free gift of salvation?
Even make sense. Like, yeah, it's literally what you were saying. Like, how are people going to get saved if like Christians don't go out of their way to get them?
Exactly. The only times that they should see us like maybe like tight knit flocking together is when we're reflecting those types of kingdom friendships. We're loving one another. That's what they should be seeing. Like, they should be seeing what they can't see out there in the world. They should be seeing me loving you, you loving me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because
100.
It's not normal. It's not something that's like, it's not something that we see in the world all the time. Yeah. It's foreign.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's like they need to be able to see that, and it's not like by force,
No, literally.
But yeah, I just think it's really really important. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to, this is kind of like not really off topic, but the soulmates.
I was even gonna like,
I don't know how to say it in.
No, it's fine. She knows the title of this video already, and I was gonna ask that towards the end, but that's perfect actually. So I can even ask that now, or we can begin to answer that question. Is there soul ties in friendships?
Okay, soul ties. I thought you were talking about soulmates.
Soulmates. Oh, I thought. Okay, yeah.
Sorry. Soul ties. I believe so. Yeah, I do. I think that, like, to be honest, I've never actually heard of the term before, but obviously when you mentioned it, I was like, yeah, it actually makes sense. Because, when you're friends with someone, you share, like we said earlier, you share like vulnerable moments with this person, like you expose yourself. And especially time, like if you've been friends with the person for like a long time, obviously you're going to get attached. And I feel like that's essentially what soul ties are. It's like that deep attachment to someone. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's so interesting about this is that I did a little bit of research. Like, obviously soul ties aren't necessarily biblical in the sense of like it's in the Bible, but I think it's the same with how us as humans, we try to understand things. So we will give it names or just things that will make us like able to understand like, biblical truths, or like just understanding certain things, like deep connections with people. So we'll call it soul ties.
Yeah.
So with that out of the way, that disclaimer, like I do believe that there can be. I think it's just people think that soul ties is actually just purely sexual.
Yeah.
Purely like physical intimacy. And I think that's one aspect of it for sure. But I think that, you can get to a certain stage of vulnerability with somebody that, it's like, we'll call it soul tie. You gain an attachment to that person. Yeah. And I think soul ties do have a negative connotation. So, I mean, it's like, like we can use like what you said like before, like soulmate, like, like is there soulmates in friendships? Because I think that's like easier to the ears.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like even in the Bible, I think there was deep connections that people had. Like when I was reading it, I can't remember the two people that were specifically like mentioned, but yeah, like they had like a deep, deep connection. Like, you know, like it was really emphasized in the Bible, like how deep the connection was. I can't remember the names of them, but yeah, like I feel like the Bible just recognized that there, you know, like there's friendships that can really go deep.
Yeah,
you know?
100%, yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful thing when God is at the center. I think we always think about romantic relationships and God being at the center of those. That's beautiful, of course, but God can be at the center of your friendship as well. You can literally pray in the sense of like, Lord, like I really pray for this person. I really pray for our friendship. I pray that it prospers. I pray that it grows. I pray that, you know, the enemy doesn't use this friendship like with his schemes, plotting, all of that stuff. And I think, you know, people think maybe that's pointless to do for like friendships. I can pray for you, what you're going through, what you got going on, not the friendship.
Right.
And I think it's so important to pray for friendships.
It is. And I think even like the reason why ours lasted so long is because it was God-centered, even like from the beginning, because we met at church. So like that, you know, that was like the sort of the first, like, is commonality a word?
No. But like, I get what you're saying though.
I'm going to rephrase that. So we met at church, right? So like literally that's where we met and we knew that, you know, God was the first thing that we had in common, per se. So I think and then we grew as well together in the Lord. So I think that's why like our friendship has actually lasted and it has even gone like deeper than just a surface level friendship.
No, honestly.
Because God is at the center.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. She said it, because God is at the center. Pray for the friendship as well. Like, as in genuine prayers, like, you know, really pray. Because I think sometimes it's like, oh, like, do I really need somebody in my life? Like, do I really need you to be in my life? And like, and it's like to spend time praying. Like, do I really need to do that? But it's like, no, like pray to have people around you that are genuine.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, like, it's like, you're not praying for perfect people, I repeat, because it's like, at the end of the day, what I really trust about you is the fact that I know that, let's say we have a problem, let's say like you even do something wrong to me, that you will at least go before the Lord and you'll say to him, like, Father, like, you know, like, forgive me. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's just that like heart, that attitude towards like, you love God so much so that you would not want to hurt him, and it's going to reflect in the way that you wouldn't want to hurt me. Yeah. You know, I trust your walk with God, so I trust you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's it. Like,
And even what you said about like praying for friendships and stuff, I feel like I don't remember really praying about friendships before I met you. To be honest, I prayed about like more Christian friends and whatnot to come into my life after I met you. But even that speaks volumes, because it's like, it just shows that it's actually a gift from God, because I didn't actually ask, you know, to come across you specifically.
No, honestly.
You know what I mean? It just happened, and I feel like it was definitely God led. And yeah, you're a gift.
Stop. Stop.
Oh, whatever. Like, she's a gift.
We're actually get cringe up in here. Like,
no, it's cringe, but it's actually true. Like, I just deeped it, because I don't remember actually asking for it, like in 20, because that's when I went to uni. I wasn't really trying to like, obviously like I was walking with God and stuff, but I didn't really care for friendships like that. Like, obviously I had friends already, so I wasn't even asking for friends. Literally. Like, so yeah, like when I met you and Nina, like that's what, I feel like you guys were the first people that like were really my like godly friends, and it made me want more. And that's when I started to pray for more. Yeah.
I love that, made you want more. And it's not just made you want more friends, it's like made you want more of him. Like, literally, you know what I mean? Literally. That is just, wow, God, like, he's not like with homes, like he works in mysterious ways. Like,
trust me.
Honestly, imagine sometimes we try to box God in. Can you believe it? Lord, we repent. Like, we really oh my gosh.
I love it.
But wow, like we really did this video. Like,
yeah, really did. Overdue sure.
Overdue. We tried to do this back in not January this year, January last year. Imagine.
Did we?
Yeah, do you remember?
Wait, I feel like we actually did though, but you didn't.
I didn't post it, but that's the thing. Like, we did it, but like, we never like. I never posted. I never said anything. Like,
I don't actually remember what we spoke about. To be honest,
we're talking about friendship.
It was about friendship. But
we journeyed, man. Like since then,
yeah, we actually have.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, this has been journey through the mind. Yeah, journey through our minds, actually. You know,
thanks so much for inviting me.
Of course. Yeah. You know, of course. And there's obviously. What is that?
I'm just being annoyed.
You see the difference in our friendships, right? Like the difference between us, because she's more physical touch than me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She doesn't like it when I touch her.
No, it's not.
You do, bro. Like you're always like cringing and saying cringe and stuff. Like just whatever.
But yeah. So thank you for journeying with us. I hope you guys have enjoyed, you know, because branching out into podcasting. So, you know, there's going to be more videos to come. And this is truly a journey, you know. So we are not perfect people coming for you. Like, we're
great. Also learning as well.
We are learning. We are learning. So yeah, like, I hope you guys enjoyed. You know, like, subscribe, share, comment.
Period.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that.
To your dog, cat, everyone in the house.
Yeah.
And you better do that.
Yeah, exactly.
We will not move.
5